Good evening, I am Julie Webb and I am one of the nutritional therapists for Breast Cancer Haven. Now today I am going to show you one of my favourite soups. It's a Lemony lentil soup. Now the wonderful thing about making your own soups is that you are in control with how many vegetables go in them. When we buy the fresh cartons of soup, you might notice that it will often say contains one of your 5 a day. Well, hopefully you have learnt by now, you should really be eating 6 vegetables a day and 3 to 4 fruits. So when you are having soup as your lunch, you really want to make sure that it's giving you 3 servings of vegetables, so that then at dinner you only need to have 3 servings of vegetables, because you're going to struggle to eat 6 in one go. So when you're making a vegetable soup, you want to make sure you're putting about nearly 1 kilo of vegetables, so that if it serves 4, each serving is going to give you those 3 portions. And you want to have at least 3 different colours in the soup. Now, often people have vegetable soup for lunch because it's lovely this time of year. It's very warming. However, often people say it doesn't sustain them for very long, and that's because a vegetable soup on its own it's only the cleansing half of the plate, which is wonderful, but we always complement the cleansing half, the fruits and the vegetables, we complement that with the feeding half, which is your starch, your protein and your fat. Now your starch, you could add potato to it. Often people would prefer to have a piece of bread with it, or maybe skip the starch if you are on my weight management program or just cutting down. But you don't want to cut the protein out. It's much harder to eat the protein separately. So with this soup, we are going to add red lentils. Not only are we adding the protein to the soup, but we are also adding a lot of fibre. So this soup's going to be a lot more sustaining, and it's much cheaper to make your own soup as well. So the first step is going to be to saute these vegetables. So I have I have chopped my vegetables. You don't have to chop them too perfectly because you're going to blend it later. So I'm just going to add a pinch of salt, and I am going to saute those in, I'm actually going to saute them in just a little bit of water, a little bit of stock. And that's so that if you are on my weight management program, this soup is perfect for you. You can then have your fat at the end, either as an oil added at the end, or you could have an ounce of nuts. So I'm going to saute that with the lid on for just 10 minutes. So my vegetables have now softened. 10 minutes. So all I'm going to do now is add the garlic. So I think it's 4 cloves, a bit more if you like it. 4 cloves of garlic. I am going to add my sweet corn, frozen sweet corn. I am going to add 2 stock cubes. I've already added 1. And then it's 2 teaspoons, that's not a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of curry powder, half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. You could use freshly ground if you like, but I'm just going to use this one. And a pinch of cayenne. I'll just give that a little stir. And then I'm going to add my red lentils. These have been washed. And then it's 1500 mils of water. And then I'm going to bring that to the boil. And then simmer that for 15-20 minutes. Okay, so the soup has been simmering for 15 minutes now, and the lentils are soft. You can tell that when you pull some out, they break up. So all I'm going to do now is blend this down. You can, if you prefer a chunky soup, you can take half out and just blend the half that's in the pot and then return it to the pan. But because I'm not a very good chopper, I'm going to blend the lot. But I won't subject you to the noise of my blend. The final thing for this soup now that transforms it for me, I think I do like lemon, mind you, is to juice 2 lemons. Now, you can actually finely grate the zest into it as well, but I didn't get any unwaxed lemon, so I didn't want to do that. And even just the juice alone, you're adding a lot of vitamin C in and just a lot of flavour. Now this soup, it seems a little bit runnier than normal, so potentially I think next time I'll use a little bit less stock. It's up to you. Everyone has preferences how thick they like their soup. I quite like it to be more like a puree, but it's up to you. And that's it. Give it a final stir. And then give it a little taste, see if it needs any more seasoning. Beautiful. Enjoy.